Guy, welcome. Thank you for making the time. Been great to spend so much time with you to be able to tell you all about the school and get you excited about what awaits. We've been given a range of questions, would you believe, on these cards to answer over the next few minutes. So I'm going to dig in.
See what we've got.
Why is it important that a school and its practices are always evolving?
Why is it important that a school and its practices are always evolving? Well, I mean, this is so important. I will balance it with the fact that I feel it's really important that a school protects and upholds and champions traditional values. And I think when I come to a school like this with nearly 120, 125 years of history, I think having an eye on the past and why we've got to where we've got to is really important. And when I read the Westbourne Way and some of the values that the school promotes through that, I think those things are really important. It's vital that we, in their prep school years, give them the toolkit and the skill set and those soft skills that will mean they'll kick on to their senior schools and then life beyond, ready to really make a positive impact and truly thrive. Because, as I say, we don't know what they're going to be doing, but we do know that they will need certain skills. I think one of the most important skills children learn at school is how to get on with others, how to work with others, those sort of collaboration skills, but also the resilient side of things, how to bounce back when things go wrong. And that can be adapted to so many different environments, whether AI is involved or not.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's vitally important that the school evolves. Life, the world is constantly changing, but there are certain fundamentals that we need to look after.
Yeah, and the importance of the strength of the bond between school and home as well, because there are lots of challenges that parents are dealing with nowadays with their children, and the children need some answers, and that partnership, I think, becomes ever more important, which is again a real strength of the school, and something that can only help the children prepare for later. Here's an interesting question. What's something I started that you're genuinely excited to build on?
It is a good question. Something that you've started that I'm excited to build on. And I'd say the thing that's struck me most here at Westbourne that's unique, something that I've not seen in schools I've worked in previously, is your high performance learning you've embraced here. All of the fundamentals really speak to me in terms of how we should be educating the children. It goes back to what I was saying before about giving them the skills that will help develop them into good learners, no matter what the topic's going to be.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes we can focus too much on which particular curriculum we're following and forgetting the fundamentals of, what are those learning dispositions that we want the teachers and the children to embrace and develop. And that's something which I think is very impressive, but also could be really powerful. So I'm looking forward to learning more about it, but also, leading on it and pushing it forward.
We've actually found, I think, our children's academic attainment has gone up simply by making them fundamentally better learners, not just preparing for an exam, but actually becoming better learners.
Okay, Martin. So, next question for you. I've just been talking about high performance learning. What does high performance learning look like day to day, and how does it impact the pupils?
Yeah, I mean, it's been such an exciting journey, really, with HPL since we brought it in 2019. And I think the main things you'll see are the difference in interaction between the teacher, the types of things that the teacher will say, the teacher and pupil, but also the pupils themselves. And we're really looking for the children to be better, more self-aware learners. And we've got a saying that we use quite a lot for the children to be brave and not necessarily perfect. So to have a go at things, but not be too worried if you get the wrong answer, because so many of the most successful people in the world have got lots of things wrong, and they will readily say the thing I learned most from was getting something wrong. And when you've got good, passionate teachers who are there to say, okay, you got that wrong, how about trying it this way? Or even you've got it right. But is there a different way you could get to that conclusion as well? So it's been so positive. It's probably less exam focused, but ironically, we've seen probably an uptick in the academic performance of the children by every measure. So it's been really exciting. It's so well embedded in the school now. So yeah.
Well, I think very powerful if you can bring the children successfully round to that way of thinking about their learning. I think children's natural instinct is they want to be right and they want things to be not easy, but they want to enjoy success, and developing that resilience and understanding that it's okay to get things wrong, and that's how they learn the most. It's really powerful. So it's good to hear that's well embedded here over the last handful of years.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what's the question you're most looking forward to being asked?
When a parent might ask me what are the benefits of year 7 and 8 being spent at the top of a prep school rather than the bottom of a senior school or as part of a through school, I've always described year 7 and 8 as the golden years of a child's educational journey. I think back to my own school days, and I have very happy memories from those times. Now sort of being on the other side of the fence and seeing the incredible benefits and the value that can be added in those 2 years as the child sort of rises to the top of the school and develops the independence and the responsibility. And I've seen here at Westbourne the range of leadership opportunities you have available to the children. It's really impressive. What can sometimes be awkward pre-adolescent years when a child's working out who they are and what they stand for and what they believe in, I think being able to make their mistakes in a more nurturing environment at the top of a prep school, a strange one, because it sort of allows them to stay young for longer. It allows them to be children for longer. And I think protecting childhood is a really important part of what we do. But it also allows them to mature and become more confident in their character, so that when they do go on to their senior schools, and we obviously speak to senior schools all the time, and the honest truth that we get from senior schools as a child joining them at 13 is far more ready to go there and take advantage of everything that's available to them than at 11. So I think that is a really special part of what a school like Westbourne does, their metacognition, and I think it chimes very nicely with the HPL.
If you could sit down with every parent right now, what's the one thing you'd want them to know about how you approach leadership?
I think the most important thing is that understanding that as parents, our children's education, our children's childhood is something that we're very passionate about, and it's something that is there is nothing that is more important to a parent than your children. So having that sense of understanding that there will be highs and lows through that journey, and I think it comes down to communication. It comes down to trust and transparency. And I think one thing I would want all parents to hear from me and know and understand is that we always try our best. We try and be the best possible school we can be. We base all of our decision making in what's best for the children. But nowhere is perfect, and occasionally things go wrong. We're dealing with young children here, and that's okay. And I think it's just really important that when things do go wrong, that we communicate, we talk, and we navigate a path through that together, so that the child feels supported by school and parents together. And I think that helps the children with their growth mindset, helping them understand that mistakes are okay.
What would you describe as the most satisfying aspect of the job for you?
I think it's seeing that progression that we talked about earlier, and as I say, you can think of lots of different examples, but I think the mistake that is made too often is that a child in, let's say, for argument's sake, year 5 or 6 is struggling with something. It might be their maths, it might be their cricket, it might be their confidence on stage. Seeing the journey that child can then go on by the time they're in year 8 and they're, on stage singing a solo or hitting a cover drive for 4, or getting an academic scholarship, with maths being a strength onto their senior school. And I think we are too quick as a society to pigeonhole people and children into lanes too early. So I'd say that's the element of the job that brings me the most satisfaction.
Well, I wish you every success. You must be hugely excited taking on such an amazing school. And, for us, it's a real mix of emotions. We're a new chapter for us, but we're so sad to be leaving so many aspects of Westbourne behind. But I am highly confident that you'll do an amazing job, and really, really wish you the very best of luck.
Very kind of you to say so, Martin. Thank you.